Well, good afternoon or morning, depending on where you're tuning into this broadcast of the National Soccer League. And it is the Oregon Orcas out here on the West Coast hosting the Hawaii Voyageurs in a divisional battle in the NFC West as these two teams look to kick their seasons off. And the stadium packed to the gills. Orcas supporters and the traveling Voyageurs as well, both true to their names in that sense. But to see how exactly these two teams decide to line up on their opening day. A lot of change in the offseason for both of these clubs. A lot of new faces, unfamiliar looks around for both these sides. Let's get a look at the lineup news now for the home side. Seeing some of those players now. The Orcas on your screen. Mbakwe Yomba returns to the lineup after a big, fiery contract dispute offseason. Thought he was going to be moved on, but he stayed and he's in the lineup, so that's a surprise, along with two new faces in Murdoch Finnegan, Luis Silva, and Jazargo Ramesses as well. Behind him bolsters that midfield in the absence of Yuri Petrovia, who was sold to the Hydra. Jordan Bankhead, the standout rookie captain last year, is holding down that midfield, and no changes to the back line to speak of. They did draft some other players. Rui Pedro Martin, second overall. I'll have to see if he gets some game time today on the bench. Now let's turn our attention to the Voyageurs, who have some big changes as well. The question was always, would they be able to keep those young midfield talents in Erdogan, Van Overem, and Souza? The answer was largely no. Two of the three moved on. Van Overem has stayed and has two new partners in the midfield with Kevin Cabrera and Özkan Horn from the Charioteers. And they also draft Ephraim Mendel in this year's selection. But the front line looks largely different as well, with Moisan joining up from the Thunderbirds in a shock move. After they brought in Saratobi, there was no room left for him on board. He's got a new club as well, his fourth club in just his 7th year of his career. He's moved around a lot, so maybe the Voyageurs, he can find a home true to his name. So lots of changes, and we are ready to get going here, rocking and rolling. And Portland, Oregon, the Orcas kick us off in front of the home crowd, and we are hoping for more of the same. It's been an excellent opening 3 or 4 games of coverage so far in the National Soccer League Network, hoping to continue that rich run of form. Here is Luis Silva, formerly of the Charioteers, and that's a nice ball, weighted perfectly for Jazargo, who is deemed surplus to requirements at his old employer, the Revenants, and made a real fuss about it. Now here comes Camaro Washington, 10 years with the Thunderbirds, down the drain. He's on the Voyageurs now, trying to pick out a cross for his old teammate. Moisan, what a save from Edmund Braun. Punches clear as well, and wins the free kick. Reynaldo Rosario lurking, but impeding the goalkeeper. What a start this would have been. The two former Thunderbirds, Camaro Washington and Moisan, linking up. No difference in the nautical miles here. 6 time zones behind their former employers, but it doesn't matter there. They have fit right in. That was nearly a dream start for the two of them. Warning signs for the Orcas at the back, as we saw all last season. The most porous defense in the league, conceding upwards of 70 goals, by far and away the worst defensive record. So have to see if they can try to shore up those banks. And one way to do that is by continuing to keep the ball, which they haven't done terribly well so far in the opening 10 minutes here. Reynaldo Rosario Nunez, another exciting sophomore player who was growing in his abilities and his role in the team last season as the season progressed. Here's Özkan Horn. Nice ball to Van Overem. Never really found the angle. That's a strange pass from him. Looked like a deliberate giveaway. That was really odd from Van Overem. Killed the attack and then just gave it away. Some questions about his focus with the large turnover in the midfield. It's going to be an interesting season, interesting player to watch. He might be being moved on as well. Here is Jazargo, new midfielder for the Orcas. Bankhead now moving with Yomba. Drilled into Conrad. Scavone stands him up. Conrad on the turn, and Chalmers, another former Thunderbird on the Voyageurs, collects calmly for his first save of the match. Doles it out to Abue Navarrete. On the sideline with the ball now, running forward and playing a lovely pass through for Özkan Horn, who's beating the line here. Silva tracking back, and it's a former Charioteer lunging in, giving away a free kick. Reynaldo Rosario Nunez over this ball now. Edmund Braun, another top 5 pick on show from last year's draft, faced off by the number 1 overall pick in last year's draft on the opposite side of this wall. Reynaldo Rosario Nunez squaring up from 30-odd yards, 28 to be precise. Tough angle, maybe some room to whip it across here. Rolled forward for Rosario and blasted off of Carl. It's fiercely struck and well controlled, but Carl was well positioned to deal with it. Scavone, another standout player in a rookie season last year, really helped shore up this Voyageurs back line and get them into the playoff contention. And again, eliminated on the final day after scoring what they thought was a golden goal to get them into the playoff picture, but was not to be so, as results around the league were not in their favor. Here's Silva on his debut. Oh, sweetly struck volley, but maybe, just maybe could have picked out Conrad, who's a free runner at the back post, but you've got to admire the striker's courageous nature there to take it on. Here's Jazargo Ramses. Orcas now in a bit of a swell of possession. Yomba. Ramses going to let fly. What a stop from Chalmers. Best save of the match. And a fine strike that wins the Orcas their first corner. He is a danger man. Couldn't really find his footing with the Revenants last season. Out of favor, out of form, but he seems fit and ready and refocused with his new club. He's creating problems with his passing and shooting range. Conrad has the short option in Silva if he wants it. Does use it. Silva creates a yard of space and then maybe wins a free kick. He does, right on the edge of the box. Navarrete pulled across for a brief talking to from the referee. One of the more mean-spirited rivalries in the National Soccer League, but still a rivalry nonetheless. These two Pacific-based teams. Seeing a little bit of that now, a little bit of early season jitters, frustration, maybe a mixture of the two, and now a chance to put a more positive spin on the game, looking for the opening goal still as we approach the 20-minute mark. The referee is making sure everything is set, and Luis Silva, who won the free kick, stands alone over it. This is an interesting angle. It's not almost counter-conducive to be this close. You can't really put as much pace on the delivery as you would like. You have to kind of just loft it in and hope for some favorable bounces. We'll see what Silva decides to do with it here. Indeed, he does loft it up to Zargo. Flicked on! Brilliant! Conrad, surely the opening goal! Will make me eat my words, Orcas, because that was cleverly crafted for the opening goal. Bryce Conrad is off and running. Well, Murdoch Finnegan, we've hardly called his name. In truth, I'd forgotten he'd signed for the Orcas because he hasn't done anything in this game. But look at this. It's Ramses to flick it on, and Finnegan gets a good head on it. Forces a save from Chalmers, who does everything he can to paw it out. We mentioned it 5 minutes ago. Conrad was unmarked, free on the back post, and he gets lost again and taps into an empty net. The Orcas have the lead here. The Voyageurs started brightly, but they have seemingly lost their way a little bit, and pinned back by the home side, rallied by the crowd. They now trail 1-0 here. Oh, it's a bad foul from Conrad, fresh off the goal, though, feeling the adrenaline. When he's in the referee's book, he's lucky it's only a yellow. Arguments from both sides, and fans voicing their frustration, but I think he can have no complaints here. Let's get another look. Oh my goodness, absolutely hacked Kevin Cabrera there, nowhere near the ball. Again, I think he's lucky it's nothing more than a yellow card. The referee taking a rather benevolent view. Here is Solano Acadia. Cabrera, nice reverse ball to bend over him, has runners ahead of him again. Another poor pass, but it's being chased down. Carl didn't really deal with it too well. Washington, Moisan, inventive play off Carl. Here's Özkan Horn. Line up a shot from here. Moisan trying to ease it on, and referee's giving a free kick right on the edge of the area. A lot of little fouls. This is probably the most promising. It may even be a little too close to the goal. It's going to be difficult to get up and over that defensive wall. But again, I said the same thing about the previous free kick, and it ended up in the goal. So maybe Ronaldo Rosario Nunez has something special prepared here in his bag of tricks. And it's going to take something special from a special player. What can he do with it here? Reynaldo Rosario Nunez, now Özkan Horn joining Horn to roll up for Moisan. Beamed it through the traffic and saved by Edmund Ron, who is in disbelief at his defense for letting this one get through. Clever routine again. Looks like set-piece training has been upped in the ante in the offseason for these teams, as two inventive plays in a row there. One led to a goal, one leads to a corner here. John Van Overim with Kevin Cabrera supporting. It does go short to Cabrera. Touch inside, now lofted up for Reynaldo. Flicked on, and Prawn is always going to collect that. Not enough power on the header. And rolls it out now to Marshall Carl. Here is Jordan Bankhead. Nice pass from the captain. Mbakwe Yomba. Nice cutback for Conrad. Yomba now, space in the middle. Can he get there ahead of his man? Yomba! Oh, he's just dragged it wide. Felt the footsteps from the defender, but I think he had him beaten for pace. He could have taken a touch. Takes it on, and it's well wide in the end. Doesn't get any sort of clean contact. A little bit of the rust there showing for Yomba, who has been not playing since that ACL injury early on in week 6 of last season. Back in the lineup today. Taking some time to find his full footing. And here goes Kevin Cabrera. In the meantime, Voyageurs have restarted play quickly here. Reynaldo Rosario Nunez combining with Arcadia. Here is Arcadia. Down the line he goes. Running out of time and space. Nicked off him, but won a throw-in. Warren does well. Arcadia opening up in the middle of the field is Van Overhem. Nice ball. Kevin Cabrera to make it 1-1. Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant from Kevin Cabrera. Dished in from a lovely ball from his new midfield partner, Viljan Van Overhem. It's a sweeping finish into the far corner. No chance for Edmund Hron, and the Voyageurs draw a level here. The moment of individual brilliance from those two midfielders. We talked about the turnover, and Van Overhem staying behind, his lack of focus maybe. Kevin Cabrera, a long-term substitute bit part player on this team. Is he ready for a starting role? They've answered these questions here with a lovely goal and assist between the two of them. And it's 1-1. The Voyageurs back on level terms. And we've got just over 10 minutes to go before halftime. This game is heating up nicely. Finnegan, nice control over the outstretched arm of Arcadia. He's been a little bit quiet today on the right wing. Push back. Oh, that's a lovely combination play with Kun Roberts. Conrad bundled over by Arcadia, getting his revenge, and surely a yellow card. And he goes in the referee's book for the foul on Conrad, who's not mincing his words, a frustrated figure at the moment. Just lunges in. It's reckless. It's really a hopeless challenge. He has no way of getting the ball there. Freaking slack, guys. Oh, that's nice. Just sorry about that. A technical glitch. We have not so few and far between here on the National Soccer League Network. Poor funding, as you all know. Nothing has changed in the offseason in that regard. If anyone wants to help, volunteer their services to help make this process not so horrible, I would love to know about any opportunities there. So just hit me up in the comments below. If you're watching along, 10 minutes to play, 1-1 here. Halftime approaching. Orcas had the lead in front of the home crowd, but they gave it away just moments ago. But they did score on a similar position set piece just moments ago. So can they make lightning strike twice here? Luis Silva, the architect last time, goes short this time. Silva dancing and diving. Going to be a penalty of Washington. It is! Camaro Washington contributing at the other end, and not in a good way. It's a penalty. Well, the Orcas make another set piece work in their favor. And that ball, I mean, it looked like a volleyball dig, just bundling around between his outstretched arms. And Luis Silva, who won the penalty, will take it. Could get his first goal in the Orcas' black and teal. Here he goes from 12 yards. And number 12 in the goal doesn't even move. Silva buries it coolly to restore the lead. And dances in some style. This is an excellent penalty from what we could see. Let's get another look here. It's actually maybe one Chalmers could have saved, but he just kind of stares it down. Struck with some power. Would have taken a good guess. It's hit hard and true. And Silva, out of form, out of favor with the Condors. Up and running for his new club now with the Orcas. 2-1 is the score. Game has gone back again to a new lead. Goal scorer Kevin Cabrera trying to inspire Voyageurs. It's a lovely pick out there in the wing to Rosario Nunez. Here's Moisan turning the trouble with Jordan Bankhead doing what he does best. The enforcer, the protector in front of that back four. And now springs to life the counter with Murdoch Finnegan running. Good post control and nice ball to Yomba. Bankhead, nice movement. Jazargo, this is really nice from the Orcas. Conrad, fancy footwork. Conrad saved by Chalmers. That would have been some goal. Chalmers doing his part to keep this game within Voyageurs' reach. Nearly 3-1 here. Good stop. Voyageurs were impressive defensively last season, but they've been tested and really answered the test so far in this one. Probably missing that defensive protectorate in the midfield of Gilberto Souza. Another corner. Silva bounced favorably for him. What can he do with it here? Bankhead. Back to Silva. Conrad now. Trying to work some space for a shot here and just couldn't get there ahead of Chalmers. under some pressure there. Did well to keep his composure. 2 minutes to play in the half. Orcas have a 2-1 lead. But the Voyageurs are moving forward nicely here with Özkan Horn. And he's giving it away, but it's bounced back to Van Overheim. Here's Washington trying to atone for the handball. Sweeping ball over the top for Navarrete. Blocked by Silva. Scooped in towards Noysan. Good control, but no one on the end of that flick on, and Hron collects calmly. Sent long from the goalkeeper. Yomba, great hold-up play in the embroiled in a challenge with Scavone. Did well to keep the ball. Mills goes down the line. Nice find to Silva. Zargo showed too much of it to Navarrete and gave it away. Could that be costly? There's going to be just a few more minutes for the Voyageurs to try and get forward, but Cabrera picked out a pocket. It's back for Horn. Goes long for Arcadia. Lovely ball. Rolled in. Is that a penalty? Referee says no, but it is a corner. Last play of the half. Voyageurs have a set piece to try and get on level terms for the second time in this first half. Set pieces have played a real big part today, in particular for the home side. Can the Voyageurs make one work in their favor now? Cabrera to take. No short option this time. Here he goes. Swung it for Noysan. It's a good ball. Noysan tipped over by Hron. Great reflexes from the sophomore shot stopper. We've seen it today again. The set pieces have been so critical. So many chances created. Almost all of the chances coming from these dead balls rather than open play. Let's talk about this fifth shot of the half already. Wow. Can he make one pay here? Washington joining in towards Noysan again. Finnegan away. Lancer back in. Washington to the byline. Nice ball. Cabrera. Noysan. Good save from Hron. Wow. A top save to keep the Orcas' lead intact. How did Noysan not find the back of the net there? It's 2-1 to the home side at the break. We'll be right back with the second 45 on the National Soccer League Network in just a moment. Welcome back, National Soccer League fans. A 2-1 lead for the home side. Orcas all going to plan for them so far. You have to say they've made the most of their chances. I think the Voyageurs have outshot and been outsaved by Edmund Hron in the goal, but the clinical nature of the Orcas' new look offense has been on full display here. The Voyageurs need to try and keep it going, keep creating chances as they did at the end of that half. Throw in deep in enemy territory here, the visitors. They were so cruelly denied a playoff spot for a magical run last season. Here they come. Navarrete, that's lovely. Cabrera's in again. Hron somehow gets a pinky to it. We knew he was a special keeper when he went number 4 overall in last year's draft, but he has been excellent today, justifying his worth in goal. That is not a great clearance, though, by one of his defenders. Not sure who it was. Van Overheim. Driven in. Cabrera trickled in. It's that combination again. And shocking defending, the undoing of the Orcas, but Kevin Cabrera is living it up in his new starting role. Van Overheim, the architect again, with a beautiful threaded pass. It is just absolutely class from these two midfielders. Look at this ball here. Takes a moment. You think the chance is gone, but the beautiful bend on that pass just curls right into the foot of Cabrera. And then all he has to do is get any sort of a contact to redirect it, and Hron has no chance from the dangle like that. Kevin Cabrera at the double. Van Overheim with his second assist of the day. We mentioned Hron and Rosario Nunez in last year's draft class. It was an interesting scenario. The Orcas actually had the number 1 overall pick. Could have taken Reynaldo Rosario Nunez, but they trade down to get Edmund Hron and a future first-round draft pick from the Voyageurs, funny enough. So, too early to tell, obviously, but we'll have to see when all is said and done at the end of their careers. Was that the right move? But Hron so far has been excellent. Oh, that's a bad foul. Simone Scavone has not had a great game, and it's going to end in turmoil. Scavone has been dismissed. Speaking of, I mean, it's a harsh call there. Rosario Nunez being withdrawn now for Brandon Kilbovics, trying to shore up that defense as Scavone, a center back, cannot be afforded to lose that positional structure. Wow, what a turn of events there. It was a shocking challenge from Scavone, but didn't think it had a red card written on it. Silva off the wall. There was a call for handball, but in a natural position, the referee says. It'll be a Voyageurs throw here. Having their change coming up now. Maybe the Orcas can counter-punch with a change of their own. Indeed, they do. Christopoulos on for Jordan Bankhead. Looking off the captain. In favor of a more offensive-minded player now that the numbers favor the Orcas. 11-10 as Scavone was dismissed on that preceding free kick. Bad foul. Over the top it goes. Nice header by Washington. Here's Viljan van Overem. He's had 2 assists on 2 lovely balls today. Oh, good skill there from Van Overem. Spun his defender in the cycle. Moisan! Oh, was it in? Oh, it's trickled in! A strange goal. And moments after the red card, the Voyageurs down to 10 men have taken the lead. Well, the 2 strikers from the Thunderbirds brought in. Moisan and Camara Washington weren't going to leave without their say. It's brilliant from Van Overem to set it up again. I thought that had crossed the line. But it didn't. Washington pounces. Quinn Roberts not good enough. You've got to get ahead on this ball. You've got to do something more. Washington heads home, and the Voyageurs, down to 10 men, take the lead for the first time in a 3-2 thriller. Wow, what a turn of events there. A red card, a substitution from the Orcas, and then they concede. Shocking stuff here, but still anyone's game, as we haven't even hit the hour mark yet. Plenty of time for a response. I've got a feeling there might be more goals in this one, the way the floodgates have been opened at both sides today. Here's Jazargo. Nice ball. Yomba. Threaded in for Conrad, who opened the scoring. And Kilbovics, the deputy defender, does well. And now Cabrera's got a head full of steam, and he's running. He's beating the defenders for pace. It's 1-1 with Mike Levitas. Cabrera on a hat-trick save by Braun. Kevin Cabrera is absolutely electric. Maybe the Voyageurs fans wondering, why wasn't this guy a starter sooner? Wow. Well, Bradley Perkins, after our opening 5 games, is the current Golden Boot holder, top scorer with 3 goals, a hat-trick in his debut. Kevin Cabrera trying to match that feat on his season debut as well. Washington clipped in. Good ball for Van Overem. It's in a tenuous area, and Braun did well to hold it through the traffic. There's Christopoulos. Yomba. Here's Finnegan. Bizargo. All the way back to Mike Levitas. Nice ball forward. Finnegan on the turn. Yomba 1v1. Trying to beat Kilbovics. Cabrera gets back defensively. He has just been excellent today. Here goes Van Overem now. The counter charge could be on with Washington. Touch carried him a bit wider than he would have wanted, but there's runners through the middle. Washington has it back. To Moisan. Moisan! He's blazed over. The Voyageurs nearly go up 2 goals down to 10 men. Should have been 4-2. Moisan, normally so reliable in front of goal, has missed a couple of easy chances today. Go ahead and attribute that to jet lag. One of the time difference as we got another change here. It is Luis Silva coming off for Chandler Lawrence, and that was going to be the last involvement of the day for Moisan. As 99, Dirrier has come on. Freshen things up for the Voyageurs up top. Interesting debuts from both of those 2 players in their new clubs. So each team with 2 changes on the docket now. 1 remaining and 20 minutes to play. It's 3-2. The Voyageurs have the lead after trailing for 58 minutes of this game. They fought back from a goal down and a man down to get ahead to 3-2. And here they come again. They are just full of running. They're getting stronger and stronger. It's a nice ball from Lawrence, though. Oh my gosh! Slack! What is it? Stupid! Here comes Ramesses. Conrad. Yomba. Can he return it? Bundled over. It's going to be picked up by Lawrence. Lawrence off the bench. Chandler Lawrence. Oh, wow. That's an absolutely abysmal effort. Teammates around him in better positions, and they're letting him hear it. That was terrible from Lawrence. Everyone in the stadium, including the players, stunned, don't know what to do after an effort like that. It was just so bad. Wildly off target and incredibly slow as well. Another change now, final of the day. is for the Orcas as Jordan Wilson comes on for Quinn Roberts. Another disappointing day at the office for an Orcas defender. 3 goals conceded, picking up right where they left off last season. They averaged 3 goals conceded a game, and they've done it again here today in week 1. Here's Kilbovics. Voyageurs have to be given credit for their resolve. They've showed the grit and the fight. Cabrera in particular has been excellent, but he's given that one away. Here's Ken Horn sweeping up defensively, though. Voyageurs checks back inside. That's a clever turn. Washington forward to Navarrete. Bounce favorably again. Here goes Ben over him. Runners ahead of him. Nice ball for Washington if he's onside. Navarrete! Oh, what a strange one! Had Braun in a real pickle, and it nearly crept in from the tightest of angles. Braun came out to protect the cross and nearly left the goal open. Ben over him has been exquisite with his passing in this game today. Evidenced by the 2 assists. Had a hand in the 3rd goal as well. That's lovely. Dummied in. Van Overheim's there. Van Overheim. What a stop from Braun. Knotted down. It's still alive here. Washington. Levitas hooks it away. Now the counter could be on, but Voyageurs being smart. They don't have too many numbers committed forward. Derrier. Change of pace on Levitas. He's running at him now. Running inside. Derrier to win it. Oh, Derrier. Super sub off the bench. Seals it. For the visiting Voyageurs, it's 4-2. A superb finish from the substitute. Well, Moisan was the starter, missed some chances. This guy comes off the bench. Electric run and a sublime finish that catches Hron off guard. 4 goals conceded again. It's an excellent strike from Derrier, but the defenders, the questions have to be asked of the Orcas. You cannot pin this on the goalkeeper. Someone has got to be closing down in the box. He cannot have that much time and space on the ball. Zargo Ramses has shown flashes, especially in the early stages, but has faded as this game has gone on. Similar or akin to his time at the Revenants. Really living up to the full expectation. Continued here. Here's Yomba. Now or never for the Orcas if they... Freaking, what is causing this? If they want to get back in this game. Ramses is Finnegan on side. Yes, as the referee drilled in, and Lancer has to put behind for a corner. Well, 2 of the Orcas goals, both of the Orcas goals, well, 2 of them I should say, have come from set pieces today. So maybe a lifeline here late into the game. Just 7 minutes left to play. Connor to take this corner. We'll have to wait, though, as the substitution's taking place. The last of the day, Churro Mimoso on his debut for his new club. Left the Minutemen, joined up with the Voyageurs, takes off Kevin Cabrera to a raucous applause from the traveling fans for his contribution. 2 goals that kept the Voyageurs in this game. Mimoso brings on some much-needed height in the penalty area for these kind of situations, and Chalmers able to calmly claim it in the traffic anyway. Derrier does really well there with the knockdown to Van Overheim. Trying to stretch it out wide. Washington, what a turn that is through the legs of Thomas Mills. Washington goes on. In the middle has teammates. Van Overheim scores! Man of the match performance from Wiljan Van Overheim. Silencing the critics. And he gets his reward after a selfless day. He sets this move up, continues his run into the box, and gets his due reward. Lovely 1-2 with Washington as the boos rain down. Another opening day humiliation for the Orcas. 7-0 last year, 5-2 today, and Van Overheim has been unplayable. This Voyageurs midfield, it might even be improved despite the big departures. What a finish, and what a match for Wiljan Van Overheim. All the questions we had in this pregame, how would the transfers affect him? How would the new partners affect him? It's all been thrown out the window here. They have been in impeccable form. And Van Overheim, I think you'd say it's fair. He gets on the score sheet with the way he's played today. Orcas looking lost, but this begs the question, especially for the fans, how much longer before we see the 2nd overall pick, Rui Pedro Martins, involved? The manager has urged patience on that front, saying despite the high upside and the potential of RPM, as he's affectionately known for his pace and his name, it is a long-term project. As Chalmers in a bit of trouble there, and Finnegan, odd choice. Goalkeeper out, and he plays it backwards. Here's Kostopoulos trying to get a consolation goal. It will be nothing more. There's no way back. 5-2. The Orcas have conceded 4 goals since the Voyageurs went down to 10 men. And that is just terrible from Desargo, just waddling into the defender there. Frustration continues to brew here around this club. Nice interchange. The Voyageurs have just been so good in this second half, and they're in again here with Navarrete. Abre Navarrete, Van Overheim's in again! It's 6-2! Van Overheim, 2 goals and 2 assists! What a game! Viljan Van Overheim has taken control and made the Orcas ground his playground. Shocking defending again from the Orcas, who again prioritize offense in the offseason and leave Edmund Cron with no cover. Literally, wide open goal. He got 2 assists. And now he's got his 2 goals. What a day for Viljan Van Overheim. And that, another opening day dazzling defeat for the Orcas, who were in control for much of this game. It's so strange how that red card seemed to galvanize the Voyageurs and elicited a powerful 5-goal response despite being down a man. And there is the full-time whistle. Lots of questions to be asked. Well, the Orcas performed well in the first half and faded badly in the second. 5 goals conceded despite being up a man. And the discussion's already boiling out onto the pitch. The fans raining down boos. It is not a good scene here in Portland. But Voyageurs running riot at the hands of their rivals. Kevin Cabrera with 2 goals on the day, subbed off, and Viljan Van Overheim 2 goals and 2 assists. End of the match performance from him. We'll leave you here with the full match highlights from this 6-2 thriller as the Voyageurs dismantled the Orcas in front of their home crowd. We're back with a few more games today on the National Soccer League Network. We'll see you then for more coverage. Yeah! Going over him. Cabrera! In behind! Go! Gosh.